Welcome to PMPA's Final Cut of the Week, where we share important information you may have missed while you were making essential tarts. I'm Carly Kistler-Miller.
And I'm David Wynn. This is what you need to know for the week ending August 4th, 2023. The Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index contracted at minus 20.0, much lower than the expected minus 26.3. The index contracted less than the reading in June of minus 23.2. Participants reported most were trying to hire and lack of applicants was a top problem firms faced. JOLTS job openings in June came in at 9.582 million, just slightly lower than the May number of 9.616 million. Job openings have been on a slight downward trend from 2022, but we are still well above the pre-pandemic levels of around 6 to 7 million. A growth in open positions is a trend that has continued to increase since 2010. Our take? It is a good sign that the activity is moving in the right direction. New orders and production contracting less than expected is a high point, but since labor is going to continue to be a leading problem for all manufacturing, this is a great time for you to review your marketing campaign for employees. PMPA members have access to workforce recruiting materials at pmpa.org under For Members.
In addition to recruiting workforce, it's important to retain the employees you have. Company culture is vital as it defines the shared values, attitudes, and behaviors within the workplace. When employees align with culture, they experience higher job satisfaction and a sense of belonging and purpose, leading to increased retention rates. The importance of culture was apparent when we were visiting shops on PMPA's first Mastery Program tour. Each stop shared their company culture, and the enthusiasm of the employees as they explained what they did was contagious. When employees love what they do, it becomes apparent in actions. If you want to see this in action, there are a few seats left, and you can join us on the second Mastery Tour of 2023 in New England. It's September 13th through 15th. You can find more information on pmpa.org.
The media is reporting the ISM Manufacturing PMI came in at 46.4, just under the expected 46.8. This number was slightly higher than the June reading of 46.0. The index saw new orders rise by 1.7% and inventory rise by 2.1% from the previous reading. The employment and export components falling by 3.7% and 1.1% respectively. After the index highs in 2022, manufacturing PMI has moved in a downward trend. The index is still indicating contraction, but we are starting to see a bottom form with the last several readings sitting around 46 to 47%.
Global crude steel production was 158.8 million metric tons in June 2023, which is a 0.1% decrease compared to June 2022. China saw a 0.4% increase in production, with the United States production increasing by 0.5%. India increased production by 12.9%. China remains the largest producer of steel. The steel market still remains strong. Total production year to date remains just under equivalent 2022 numbers. The total increase in demand is slowing, easing of supply chains and overall cost.
NASA researchers at Glenn Research Center may have just made a giant leap forward in battery technology, creating a new solid-state battery that takes us beyond lithium-ion. Rocco Vigiano, principal investigator for Sabres at NASA's Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, states, quote, "Not only does the design eliminate 30 to 40% of the battery's weight, it also allows us to double or even triple the energy it can store, far exceeding the capabilities of lithium-ion batteries that are considered to be state-of-the-art," unquote. Passing the limitations of slow discharge rates of solid-state technology has advanced this technology much closer to application. Solving the energy storage problem is the key to an electrified future.
On this week's Speaking of Precision podcast, Miles, Free, David Wynn, and I discuss a dozen indicators for shop safety and hazard recognition during production. This podcast and our Speaking of Suppliers podcast may be found on major podcast platforms or on pmpa.org.
Now it's time for our weekly tip. A few hours of preventive maintenance time now will save you an order of magnitude in downtime later by getting ahead of problems. To learn how the Shine and 5S can help your shop, go to PMPA.org's Knowledge Centers or Final Cut of the Week.
And that's our take on what you need to know for the week ending August 4th, 2023. For additional information and links about any of the topics discussed today, go to PMPA.org and click on Final Cut of the Week.
Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next Friday.